feel ready. This is what I've been studying for. This is what it comes down to.
Less than 24 hours to my CFI Checkride. I feel pretty good. I'm feeling, like I'm ready to not be in CFI anymore. It's been way too long. Been ready for this Checkride for like 3 weeks, man. No, maybe even more than that, but I don't know. Let's guess together the price. How much do you think this cost? Well, we're gonna say the amount on 3. 1, 2, 3, $1,700. $1,700. 100. 17 of them. 1700s. That's a lot. I feel like that's just a ton of money. But it's for CFI, It's a big cert. Hopefully it's worth it. It'll be worth it. Just kidding. I'm just being pessimistic. It's morning. I'm tired. It's 9:48. I slept in this morning. It's the day before the check ride. I earned it. I earned sleeping in. Yesterday I did a little mock check ride with a friend. Feeling good.
Just went over Task Echo. Look at how long this is. It's front and back. I feel like when it comes to Task Echo, I need like a script for all of the presentations. I kind of need like a script to go off. I need like a certain plan. I can't just like wing it on the spot, Like basically everyone gets these certain documents, but I have to go home to study. I feel like I can never get anything done at school, just like talk to people. Presented Echo, Task Echo on the FOIs, and I'm tired. I'm honestly tired. It's 12 o'clock. I don't know. I think part of it's because I haven't eaten anything today, and that would make a lot of sense. But first thing I have to do, run to the post office. I used to have like a little reselling business on eBay where I just like resell things. I made a good amount of money. I had a few $100 every single month while in school. I feel like a few $100 that just pays for meals, that pays for different things, different expenses. But I just haven't had the time or energy to post new things or go find new things. So I kind of took a break from it, and I don't know, maybe a little bit burnt out from it as well. It's a lot of work, like going and finding new things, taking photos, creating listings, doing research. Like there's a lot that goes into it. I don't know, maybe I'll start it back up. But as of right now, I'm just trying to clear out what I have and try to sell what I have. But we've got some lunch. I am so nervous. I'm having like a moment where it's feeling real. I actually have my check ride tomorrow. That's crazy. I'm gonna keep on studying. Have a whole list of things I need to go over. It is currently 12:30. Eating lunch and gonna go over those things, and then I'm gonna try to go to sleep as soon as I can because I have to be up at to be there at 3. I'm gonna be there at 3:30, and so that means 15 minutes to get there. I'll probably have to be up at 1:30 just to be safe. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's probably way too early, but just would rather be there early than late. So that's really it. This is CFI, guys. This is what it comes down to. Winds tomorrow don't look too great. It's 15 gusting 26. And winds aloft is 56 knots at 3K. So not too great, but hopefully we get through the oral, and maybe, who knows, the weather could change. But yeah, my thought process is I want to be done. I don't think there's anything I've worked harder for than being a pilot, being, all the different stages that you go through. This is probably one of the hardest things I'll ever do in life. I mean, professionally, studying wise. Okay, something I really need to cover for talking about different takeoffs and different maneuvers is left turning tendencies. And I figured, why not, if I'm practicing this, why not teach it to you? So we're going to start off with spiraling slipstream. Don't mind the spelling or the handwriting. Okay, spiraling slipstream. What is happening here? So I'm just going to draw a little aircraft, something like this. That's a little nose wheel right there, maybe another wheel. I want to draw a couple of wings. I'm going to over exaggerate the wings. Little tail. Little rudder. And then there, you and me, right there. So what happens? It's the backwash, the spiraling backwash of the prop. So when the prop is like an airfoil. You generate lift. It generates lift. So you get this slipstream, this spiraling slipstream that spirals around the aircraft. So if the propeller is moving this way and this is moving down, it's going to go around the aircraft and hit the back rudder, the back, or it's just the rudder, not the back rudder. It's not front and back rudder, you know what I mean? It's going to hit the rudder on the left side. So it's going to push it this way, meaning the front of the nose is going to go this way. Now we're looking on it straight on, but if you were sitting in there, it's going to turn to the left, left turning tendency. Now we're going to talk about torque. Same thing. I'm going to do kind of a same drawing here, right? Little nose gear. This one's going to be a little faster. Something like that. Boom. Done. You do it so many times, it just happens. You and me again, we're in there. We're looking at the plane. The propeller, just like the one up top, is spinning this way. So if the propeller is spinning this way, what happens if we just catch it midair? We're a giant. Supposedly it doesn't cut off our hand when we grab it. You know, if we're a giant, maybe we have like thick skin or something. We catch it. The aircraft is going to rotate in the opposite direction. It's going to want to keep rotating in the opposite direction. So again, I'll say that again. It's rotating. You grab the propeller, the aircraft will rotate in the opposite direction. Now, in the air, this is a rolling tendency. It's not a yawing tendency. So the aircraft will roll. But if you're on the ground, it's going to be a yawing tendency, and here's why. We'll say that's the ground right there. And these wheels are hitting the ground. Now, if the aircraft, it's spinning this way, the propeller, we catch it, the aircraft rotates, it rolls to the left, it's going to apply more pressure onto that left wheel. And so if it applies more pressure onto that left wheel, the aircraft will want to turn to the left. Just like if you had a flat tire, say your left tire was flat. Well, there's going to be more friction with the left tire. And so there's going to be more drag on the ground. There's going to be more friction, and so it's going to be weighed down if it's flat. So if you have a flat tire on the left, your aircraft is still going to turn to the left. Now, if you have a flat tire on the right, it's going to turn to the right. It's the same type of thing. So there's more pressure being put with torque on the left wheel. So, I'm not thinking about this when I'm taking off. I'm not thinking about it when I'm taxiing. And it's going to be noticeable with high power settings. So, moving on from that, we have, we'll do P factor. And then we'll save my favorite for the end, which is gyroscopic precession. So P factor is something like that. And we're going to have the propeller moving that way. So your propeller is just like an airfoil in the sense it produces lift, just like your airfoil. So how do you increase lift? Well, you can increase the angle of attack. A higher angle of attack is going to have more lift in the same scenario. It's going to, let me rephrase that. A high angle of attack is going to generate more lift than a lower angle of attack, plain and simple. So in straight and level flight, both sides are generating the same amount of lift. But if you have a higher angle of attack, say you're climbing, the propeller that's descending is going to have a higher angle of attack than the ascending blade. So to climb, the descending blade will have a higher angle of attack than the ascending blade. Now, we had talked about if you have a higher angle of attack, you're going to generate more lift. So if the descending blade is generating more lift, the left side is going to be a little bit slower. So the right side is generating more lift. The left side is a little bit slower. So it's going to yaw you to the left. And then one of my favorites, or my favorite, is gyroscopic precession. And it's just, gyros in general are just like really cool. Gyroscopic instruments, it's just a lot of fun to talk about. So we're gonna do this, and then stick with me on this. We're gonna do another blade down there. So we're still gonna treat this just like a propeller that has two blades, except we're just gonna draw one vertical, so that way we can kind of have a better concept of the propeller on the different axis, or the different points that it rotates. So the propeller spinning, it's going to reach this, it's going to reach this. So this is just showing, when it's pointed up, pointed to the side, stuff like that. So the propeller is spinning like this. And then another drawing I like to do is I'm going to draw this, but I'm going to draw it as if we're looking at it from the tail forward. So I'm not the best at this angle. This might be a little confusing. Let me draw it a little bit further down. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a little bit more square than the other one. Cool. Something like that. It looks a little bit rough, but let's just pretend we're looking at it this way. So the propeller is a gyroscope. It's spinning. So a gyroscope wants to stay in motion. Now, when we pitch up, pitch down, we are applying a force on the propeller. Now, we may not be actually touching the propeller, but because the gyro is spinning, when we pitch up, we're applying force in order to pitch up, right? So if we want to pitch this aircraft up, we are going to use the elevator to pitch up, meaning there's going to be an applied pressure. At the bottom, we're looking at this drawing right here. There's going to be an applied pressure right here in order to pitch it up, right? So then the aircraft is spinning, the propeller spinning like this. So gyros are cool because the force applied is not where the force is felt on the gyro, which is a crazy concept. So it goes like this. The force applied is felt 90 degrees ahead in the rotation of the gyro. And this is what I mean. So again, if we want to pitch the aircraft up, the propeller is spinning like this. If we want to pitch the aircraft up in this scenario, we have to apply pressure on the bottom of the rudder right here in order to have it spin like that, right? So we apply the force right here, but like I said, it's felt 90 degrees ahead in the rotation of the gyro. 90 degrees, so then the force would be felt right there. So then it would push right here, meaning it would yaw you to the left. Tell me that isn't cool. And it's the same in the opposite if you descend. So we'll erase this. So we're going to pretend like we're descending. So we're taking this aircraft, we're pushing the yoke forward, using the elevator to pitch down. We're applying force right here in order to pitch down, pushing this down, right? So then we can descend. The force is felt 90 degrees ahead in the rotation of the gyro. So it's felt right there. So then it's a right turning tendency. So that's why, yeah, I talked about this with left turning tendencies, but it's under certain conditions. Anyways, I feel like that's a fun one to talk about. I haven't really talked about turning tendencies in a while. I revisited it today, the day before my check ride, and I was like, holy cow, it's kind of a lot to talk about. But if you break it down into just a few drawings, and you can really, it's a lot easier if you have like a model plane. Maybe I'll get one of those. That'd probably be a good investment, I think. But currently it is 3:54. I have to be up at 1:30 a.m. for this check ride. So I was thinking I'd probably just try to go to sleep. I'm not like an early sleeper. I try to be, but lately I've been in the habit of like maybe falling asleep later, like, I don't know, 10 or 11. I feel like that's not that late for some people, but for me, that's late. Because I used to go to bed at like 8:30. I'd be in bed at like 8:30 and then I'd wake up super early. Right now, the METAR, no, not the METAR, the TAF, it shows 11 a.m., 190, which we have a runway 16, so not that far off the center, but 25 gusting 35. And then for the daily, Tuesday at 8 a.m., I'll probably fly at like 7 if I do the oral. Probably you start the oral at like 4:15. That's like how it goes, and then you fly around like 7:30ish. At 7 it's 186, 12 gusting 23, which isn't bad, but that's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is the winds aloft. All right, let's check this. 5:30 a.m. We'll do 8:30 a.m. At 3,000, it is 49 knots. Trying to do maneuvers in 49 knot winds. I had a friend who went today, and yeah, trying to do turns around a point with like 40 knots is no bueno. I guess the METAR, I don't know, was kind of inaccurate today. So getting up, the winds were a lot stronger than people predicted, and everyone was coming back because they were like, geez, this is crazy to fly in. But yeah, I think I'm ready. Logbook is totaled. I need to do a weight and balance real quick. Got $1,700, which taking that out of my bank account definitely did not feel good. That hurt. I feel ready. Hopefully I come back tomorrow with you guys for some good news. But as of now, just going to take the rest of the day off and try to ease my mind, not be so nervous about this. This is what I've been studying for. This is what it comes down to. But, yep,